I promise you this, that we're going to set this place on fire. The Southland Conference, I'm going to tell you this, we're not on an 8-year plan. I want to make sure the players know that before I get here. It's not a plan to bring in my own players and let's have a 3-year plan to win. We're here to win. All right? I say this, that we want to win, we want to graduate, and we want to have fun in the process. And we want to win now. And you know, I see everything in place to do that.
You know, when you hear those words from Coach Ron Roberts, in fact, he said it several times before this amazing season started, it's almost like he was a prophet. These Lions accomplished more than most people thought was ever going to be possible. Come with us now as we take a little look back and a big look forward about how we can all keep lioning up.
You always want to see your school do amazing things, especially when there are things that you don't expect. Like we were talking about with football season, there's been a lot of rebuilding years, and this year no one saw it coming, I don't think. We had high hopes, as we always do, but the fact that it was as exciting and as successful as it was, it's just, you can't be happier for them. You know, that's how I felt the whole time. It's just how amazing.
I suffered through some lean years here, and granted, Ron went 5-6 last year, but we really didn't quite know how good this team was going to be. I thought we were going to be 7-4 maybe. I was hoping for 7-4. I would have loved to have been 8-3. And then they jumped out there. We were 2-2 at one point. We were actually 1-2 at one point, and then we went to Sanford and beat Sanford, a very tough Sanford team over in Birmingham. And then we had an off week after that, so we were like, wow, what are we good? How are we? We were 2-2. What's the thing? And then we got into conference play. Stephen F. Austin came here, and we literally just laid the wood to Stephen F. Austin. And you come out of a 56-14 game over a conference opponent. You're 3-2. You win the next week. You win the next week. You win the next week, and then the ball just keeps rolling. And you're like, I didn't expect us to be this good, but I sure am glad we are.
Never thinking that we would have just a phenomenal season like we did, and something that would break records in the school's history, just one record after another and accolade after accolade coming in at the end of the season. Never thought that would happen in the beginning of the season. But we knew there was some still after that first Thursday night game. So man, there may be something special here.
I'll be honest with you. A lot of people talk about being surprised. I was not. Ron Roberts came to Southeastern via Delta State, spent some time for the Statesman up there, and that's where my family, I have family up there. So I was very familiar with the success that he'd had at Delta State. And I was kind of telling people, just watch, this guy's going to take off here. He's a good recruiter. He's in this to win. And so sure enough, he did exactly what he did at Delta State.
With the recruiting class that Ron Roberts and his staff brought in, you knew, we had a sense, and you watched this team through the spring, through the summer, fall camp, into the early days of fall, that this team had a chance to be something special. I know the coaching staff felt that way. So, you know, being around the program, you did have that sense that this would be a good year. But the way it transpired and the way the community rallied around the program, just to see it happen, I don't think anybody could be prepared for that.
Well, I think everybody is just so excited, so much energy and enthusiasm, and the thing to me that was so great at the end of that game, the quarterfinal playoff game with New Hampshire, when the final clocks, the seconds ticked off the clock, and it was obvious, that the other team had won, there was just this tremendous disappointment. And then almost immediately you could just feel the pride swell in everyone. And the emotion was just incredible. And, we walked out on the field and spoke to the coach, and the players were walking by and talking to the fans. And so to me, it's just unbelievable the amount of emotion that was there by people in the community, by people at the university and the students and all. And I think that's just going to continue. It really raises the whole level of connection between the university and the community to a place where it's not been since I've been here, at least.
My dad was a professor at Southeastern, and I'm a graduate, so I've always been loyal to the Lions. But actually, when I opened the store, oddly enough, I had a LSU poster there. And kind of an interesting story, I'm not going to name a name, but I was at a chamber meeting, and a gentleman who's a retired professor at Southeastern talked about 3 topics at the chamber meeting. He was the guest of honor. One was military background, secondly was being a professor, and third was seeing all the school I'm not going to name shirts at Southeastern. And it just disgruntled him tremendously. And I got to thinking, you know, what would my dad think, who passed unfortunately, if I had an LSU poster in my store? Then you factor that in with the fact that Southeastern was winning, and it was a perfect recipe.
One of the big changes this year was seeing the community support. You know, of course, we came up with our town, our team last year with the Chamber of Commerce, and that, you know, of course, was trying to get notice and make the team more cohesive with the city, and not realizing, you know, when they started winning, that all the green and gold, it really became our town, our team, when the flag started going up and the banners started going up and the, you know, even painting of the windows. You know, it was like the old days, you know, as far as Southeastern, like nothing but green and gold going down Main Street in downtown Hammond.
Well, you know, it's an outstanding season, and I can't praise Coach Ron Roberts enough and his staff. And certainly the players deserve a lot of the credit, but I think the fans also deserve some credit too, Ken. I mean, the fans really did come out and support the Lions much better than they have in years past, and I think with the season that they had this year, with the group of returning players that they have and the incoming class of signees that Coach Roberts has, I really think next year is going to be an outstanding year as well, and I couldn't be more proud and more fired up about Southeastern Lions football, and I would encourage everyone to do the same and get behind them.
I hear stories every week of somebody here that hadn't been back in quite a long time, or hadn't been back to a football game, and once they came back, they enjoyed it, had a great time, and they came back several times this year. And that's kind of, you know, part of it. You just got to get some people reacquainted with it, and some people locally that have never been part of it.
You know, I think you've seen a lot of people take notice of Southeastern as a family bargain. You know, great venue. Strawberry Stadium's awesome. It's up close and personal to the field. You got a fan base that was, you know, where it wasn't all that big at first, but it was very loyal, very enthusiastic. It has grown where I think people that normally would not have come here have come, and have come away with a very positive feeling about the university and its athletic program.
If you didn't have a connection of working for the program and producing TV shows for the coaches and stuff like that, you just didn't come around the program, because you'd pick up the Sunday morning paper and you'd be like, oh, look, Southeastern lost again. They're 2-9 now. I'm not going to go support that. But here lately, when you go 11-3, people tend to support you, and that's what we found out, that the fans that had left during those lean years are back now.
Line up. SLU, the best football season ever. It's great that a community can get behind a team and go as far as they did, and congratulations to the Southeastern Lions from Marshall Harris, Parish Council Chairman of Livingston Parish.
I want to congratulate Southeastern Louisiana University for the football season that they just completed. They did an awesome job with a new coach and a new program in turning their program around, and hats off to them. They made it to the playoffs for the first time in numerous years, and just had a great season. And I think that's, the recruiting's going to spin off of that now. They're going to have a good recruiting year. So I think next year they'll even do better. So, again, congratulations to Southeastern University Lions.
Well, before we close, everybody's giving their best lion up to congratulate the Southeastern football team. I know you're a big sports fan, and did you ever think we'd be within 10 miles where we're standing here of a contender for the national championship, one of the top 5 teams in America at Southeastern?
No, I didn't think that, and congratulate them. And we put something on the board about the SLU Lions, and, we wanted to congratulate them too.
I was just talking to a former NFL player just today, and he went to school at the University of Arkansas, and we were talking about Southeastern, and he was just as proud to. And I asked him, I said, "Well, where's home?" He says, "Right now it's in Houston," but he says, "I am proud of the Lions," and I am. I tell you what, it just it's done so much to help the spirit of the university itself and our parish, and but people are coming from everywhere. They had the national media people was here. The hotels and motels were full, so that means a whole lot.
You know, did seem to be historically a disconnect between the campus and the city around the campus. And, you know, it's been ironic to me, you know, I've been in and around Hammond for the last, I guess, 12 or so years, involved with some chamber things where they were trying to help bridge that gap, involved with some other people that were trying to do that, and with some success. You know, it's ironic that I think the football program and their success this year has come a long way toward making people proud and getting them back involved in what's happening at Southeastern. I think it's really neat.
Friends of the family that really didn't even know that I did radio. They're still on 2003 and 4 when Hal Mummy was here. That's how disconnected they are with the program. They know that there's football is back, but they don't keep up with it, you know. And I think that's starting to change. I think you're starting to see more and more fans say, wait a minute. I'll say fans, but local members of the community say, hey, there's a product in Hammond at Southeastern. It's fun to watch. That is a great quality product, a great atmosphere at Strawberry Stadium. The atmosphere here is electric as anywhere. You know, when you put 5,000 to 7,000 people in Strawberry Stadium, it creates just a dynamic atmosphere, the way the stadium is built, the setting, and the fans we do have here at Strawberry Stadium are very intense.
Just, it's amazing how a lot of us were able to get back together and hang out and reminisce about the old days, and the school itself, the layout of the university is just so different now. There's so many different dorm rooms. There's new buildings. The student union is excitingly, I mean, it's growing leaps and bounds. We didn't have all the options that they have now. The kids today, they have all kinds of dining options. It's continuously growing despite all the budget cuts and all that stuff. People are just dedicated and persistent as far as not letting the budget cut stop the green and gold from the excitement. I mean, there was no way they could stop us this football season.
You know, by Dr. Crane's arithmetic, this university has been cut 88% in state financing over 5 years. That's translated into 200 good jobs lost. That's the bad news. The good news is, and in part because of the success of this football team and the national recognition, things have changed. We're all lining up, and it's more than just football. In the upcoming session of the legislature, the question is not, will Southeastern be cut? Now they're looking at ways to restore this university.
Here in the 50th Southland Conference football, we are proud to present this championship trophy to a first-time champion. We're probably not the last-time champion.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways that the success in the football program and in athletics can help the university, and I've talked with a number of people on campus about this in the last few weeks. FCS programs do not bring the kind of revenue that FBS programs, particularly the larger FBS programs, bring to the university. So you can't really look at the athletics program with an expectation that it's going to be a huge revenue generator for the university overall. It just doesn't work that way at this level. But there are so many other ways that it's beneficial to the university. It certainly is a draw as we recruit students, and more than ever our enrollment has a tremendous impact on the operating budget, overall budget of the university. The interest among alumni and other donors and supporters of the university, that same passion and excitement, that's what drives people to want to financially support the university, is that they are excited about the university and its programs, and they want to be part of that success. The interest on the part of our communities to support the university. When we talk to corporate sponsors, obviously they're more willing to participate in those kind of things when they see good things happening. They know that there will be large crowds in the stadium. For them, It's a form of advertising frequently, and so in all of those and other ways, these are benefits that will help the university financially.
The budget cuts have been really bad across the board for state universities, but you have to commend Dr. Crane. Like you said, my wife works at the library, and she constantly, he sends out a weekly email updating all the faculty and staff on where we are with the budget, what we're doing with the budget, and I think the news just came out last week that there will be no more budget cuts this fiscal year. So I think they're out of the woods for right now, as his last email said. But yeah, when you have budget cuts, you're forced to do more with less, and this program and this athletic department has done a good job of raising money, getting donors to see, and it's only going to get better now that we're winning.
We're a growing parish. We're a parish in transition, which I've always said, from rural now to a little more progressive. We've got a university in the middle of our parish that helps fuel that and fuel that growth. And what you see in Southeastern football and with all the athletics is something very, very positive. Play hard, play clean, play to win. And I mean, you can't beat that.
Sports, it's fun. It's fun to go watch the games. We love when our team wins. There's no doubt about that. But the university's name as a whole, the more people hear Southeastern Louisiana University, no matter what capacity you're speaking about the university in, whether it's sports, academics, people who work there, in any way, anytime Southeastern comes up in a positive way, to me, that's spreading the word and getting more potential students, more potential athletes, more potential support. So it's always a good thing for Southeastern to be, recognized in a broader spectrum.
Obviously, football is your front door to your university. It creates awareness in the public, and when there's awareness and it's positive, people say, hey, that's my alma mater. The pride wells up, and folks want to support the program, not only just athletically, but academically as well.
Well, Chris Brannon, the CEO here at the Hammond Chamber, knows a thing or two about lining up. When it comes to the dollars and cents of the football team's impact on Hammond, I mean, what's bigger than that?
I don't think there's anything bigger than that. Just the economic impact that we saw, the Lions going to the championship and the teams coming into Hammond, and just the impact economically was great.
You're on the front lines here at the Chamber of the image of the community, and being nationally ranked, winning the conference, being a contender for a national championship. I know you took a few phone calls.
We did. We took a few phone calls, people calling in wanting to know where some good restaurants were, hotels, different things like that. And I'm going to tell you, just being able to see that, I'm a double alum from Southeastern, so watching them go the way that they went made me feel good.
Talk about the impact. It's very difficult in terms of dollars and cents to put an impact of what the Lions have meant to the community. But I think that I can probably best say it this way, that if you look at what has happened since then, in terms of the publicity that Southeastern and the city of Hammond are getting, how do you measure that in terms of dollars and cents? If you look at, I'm going to just use one example, is the Baton Rouge Morning Advocate. We got great coverage throughout the years, of course, from the Hammond Daily Star, but very little coverage from the Morning Advocate. But now that Southeastern has had the success that they have, we get a coverage on a regular basis, both in terms of the sports coverage as well as the city of Hammond. So it goes beyond the football team.
In years past, when we've done something good, people have called me for video, and I would send it to them or drive it over to them or somehow mail it to them overnight. Once the ball got rolling this year and the station started to take notice of what was going on over here, I got more requests each week for video. And toward the 6th, 7th, 8th week of the season, I was getting requests every week from WWL, Fox 8, Steve Snyder over in Baton Rouge wanting video. And I would just upload the stuff that I cut for my coach's show. I would take the highlights from my coach's show and I would send them out. And I even have people in the community constantly requesting video. Sometimes I woke up on Sunday morning with 3 texts, where's my video, where's my video?
Not long ago, you couldn't find a Southeastern t-shirt for love or money. You'd go all over town trying to find anything with an SLU logo on it. Those times have changed, although some stores are frankly sold out. because everybody now wants a Southeastern flag, they want shirts, they want jackets, you name it. All Southeastern sales are way up, and that's just one example of this spirit as we all line up.
Past, you could walk through a Walmart and be hit by 150 LSU t-shirts in the face before you even got out the store. And there might be one small section of Southeastern over there with a t-shirt, maybe an undershirt or something. But this year, the green and gold section of Walmart has grew tremendously. And me and Angela spent one day in there looking at piggy banks that had Southeastern on them. All the array of shirts, from t-shirts to polos to button-downs. But the restaurants too, even the restaurants started to take notice and put up Southeastern schedules and Southeastern green and gold posters and stuff like that, and order green and gold Southeastern lights from their bar distributors, where in years past you'd see those LSU sports radio networks. Now you're starting to see the Southeastern ones.
Some of my top customers would come in with the green and gold, whether it be shirts, hats, what have you. As far as Southeastern goes, actually, I hope I get the name right, but there is a cornerback, I think his name may be Robert Alford, who now plays for the Atlanta Falcons. He was a high draft pick. When Southeastern started having a good season, I actually did sell 3 autographed rookie cards of Robert Alford. And people came in and said, you know, that who do I think was this year's potential draft pick from Southeastern. So that was pretty cool, knowing that someone may have their name called on a draft day.
During this season was the most green and gold I saw anywhere. People buying the paraphernalia in town. Not only used to be the only place you can get it was in the bookstore, you know, and you would go scrounging around the bookstore to find some sort of Southeastern memorabilia. But people really didn't make it it wasn't at the top of their minds. It was more second nature now. Once Southeastern started winning and winning and winning and winning, all of a sudden it's just it's unbelievable, I think, what it's done for this town. And not only in downtown, but also in the mall areas and the stores, you know, who are national brand stores, who are caught on and started selling the merchandise inside as well. But to see it flying in downtown Hammond was just heartwarming. And see that it's fine. In fact, I'm wearing my first Southeastern sweatshirt since I played tennis for Southeastern back in the early 70s, actually. And my girls actually got me this for Christmas because they're all about Southeastern. My oldest is graduating from St. Thomas Aquinas. She picked Southeastern. She looked at a couple of the schools in Mississippi. And I think, really, because of this exciting year and her going to every single game has sort of pulled her away from those notions and said, no, I want to be here at Southeastern. So, you know, and you add that to the economy and, you know, hundreds-fold, then everybody else is doing that. I think it's just a great building year all around for Southeastern, not only for sports, but also for education, too.
You know, when you go back to the preseason, when you go back to the beginning of the 13-14 football season, these Lions were picked last in the Southland Conference. Some said we would finish 5th, some said 6th, but we were going to be at the bottom, and there just wasn't a sports writer anywhere or a coach who believed otherwise. Looking back now, we can laugh a little bit, but this is a Cinderella story. This is more than just a team that won a lot of games and clinched the conference, was almost in the national championship. This was a team that brought the Bible to life, the scripture that says the last shall be first. And now that we are first, I think we're going to remain first.
We do little notes to the student athletes when they receive various recognitions and awards during the season, and I was signing so many of those little notes this year I couldn't keep up with it. So it was just incredible.
The first batch of awards came in right as the regular season was wrapping up. And then it just seemed like every day they were announcing something new. Steph Sebastian, Kicker of the Year. Steph Sebastian, Kicker of the Conference. Keelan Hubert, Player of the Year. Brian Bennett, Ron Roberts, constantly getting awards. So it just got on a roll there, and it's like for 3 straight weeks, every day we were winning some sort of awards or something. And that's special to see those guys' honors. But I know I talked to those guys about their awards, and they said those awards are something that they cherish, and they'll look back on 5-10 years from now. Right now, they're just interested in winning. They just want to win a national title. This team this past year, Kulan wanted to win a national title. That's the only thing he could talk about. When I was talking to him about his Defensive Player of the Year, he talked about it for a few seconds and he said, but that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to win games.
Success breeds success. You have students who are out there looking at various programs. They have opportunities at multiple schools to play, and they want to go somewhere where they're going to be successful. And so, he talks about the fact that because the season goes longer, they have more opportunity to play. Helps make them better the next year. So all of those things point to the fact that we should have a good program next year as well.
We go from being the hunter to the hunted, and the only thing I know we're going to do is we're going to try to do a better job in the off season, more efficient. We'll try to look at ways that we can increase our work ethic and things we can do more with efficiency than anything. But we're excited. I think this will probably be our best off season yet. The third one is usually a little better. Guys understand what's expected of them, the work ethic, what's going to take, all those things to get to a championship level. And I'm excited that this will probably, hopefully, I'm planning on it being our best off season yet.
I wish I could stand here and say we're going to go 12-0 next year. Obviously, everybody knows that's hard to do. I don't want to put that on the coaches and everything, but I'm so looking forward to. In years past, after football, I would turn my attention to basketball and baseball. I've already circled the calendar of when spring football starts, and I have never been excited about spring football. Spring football to me was always just practice, and now it's like the first day of spring football, I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be standing along watching, and I'm going to come to a majority of the practices. I haven't been to the last 3 spring games because of baseball. I'm coming to this year's spring game. I guarantee you that.
Well, I think 2014 has got a chance to be better than 2013. A lot returns. You do lose some key seniors, Kulan Hubert, Gaston Gabriel, Marshall Paris won't be back next year. They're graduating, but 15 seniors total. But there's a lot in the tank. You have a lot of players who rotated into the 2 and 3 deep even this fall, and there's a lot of excitement with Brian Bennett. Your skilled players at running back are back, and it's just, I think 2014 has a chance to really surpass this year, and who knows, maybe it'll end up in Frisco.
Southeastern now is ranked 6th in the nation. That's where we finished the season, although in some polls we were 4th. However you rank it, in the top 10 in America, these Lions have finished far beyond what anyone could have imagined. And as we lion up, and there are other sports too, but as we continue to support this university, the spirit we got from this football team, I think will pay dividends for many years to come.